And we're live here on YouTube. I'd like to welcome those listening in podcast land, along with my buddy Rich. Rich, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. So, getting ready to celebrate Mother's Day for the first time with little Vinny and of course Amy. So,
Yeah,
looking forward to that.
that's exciting.
Looking forward to that. Work went well this week. So
Yeah,
yeah, no
good.
complaints.
Life settling in. You're getting that routine ready. Just wait.
Yep.
In like 3 years, you'll be like, "Hey, little man, can you make Daddy a coffee?" And he'll make your coffee for you.
Mm,
My kid makes my coffee now. So,
gotcha. Or at least he can press the button on the coffee maker.
oh, he can
give me.
open it, take the old one out, put the new one in, and shut it and push the button.
Yeah, but I don't have a Keurig maker. I don't have a
Oh,
Keurig.
well, maybe by then you will. That's 3 years out. Maybe you'll get one.
It is.
So,
All right, Mike. How was your week?
work was good. It's weird. So there's stuff at work is a little weird, and we'll get to that at the end of the show as I give an update on playoffs and stuff like that. But yeah, and then we're starting like Thursday, Friday. The high school was done at 2:45, 2:35, and 11:35 both days, each day. So they were done, and then they start Maymester on Monday. So it's gonna be fun. But then we get into really busy time, yeah, so it's gonna be exciting. But it's a little slowish because a lot of the teachers are doing things that don't involve Chromebooks necessarily. So those don't get broken as much, and it'll be a good time. So
Okay, cool. All right, Mike.
with
Kind
that,
of a light show,
yeah,
but good things to talk about with how well the Cubs are playing right now, with them having a second perfect week
yeah,
from our show to show, and just how much of a historic winning streak that they're on. So the
yeah.
trivia question, Mike, that I gave to you pre-show, that you'll get the answer to, and everybody that may or may not be listening to our episode will get an answer to, is what is the longest home winning streak that the Cubs have ever put together?
Okay, I'll give you my answer when we get to that segment. But if you think you know it, the timestamp should be around right now is about 3 minutes into the show, so we can see when you make your comment. Go ahead and put in the comments your guess for the longest winning streak in Cubs history.
Yeah, and that is franchise history, not necessarily their time at Wrigley Field. Those are two different numbers.
Oh,
Those are two different numbers.
That changes things, Rich.
It is the longest home winning streak in franchise history.
Oh, see, now I'm very confused because
Okay.
I was thinking a completely different number, and I don't know. Now I'm really confused, Rich.
Okay. You just got to pick a number, Mike. I've got the number without going to the Google machine, as Pat Hughes would call it.
Yeah.
Calls it. So yeah, Mike. So what else are we going to be talking about this week?
We're going to be talking about we're going to head into the NASCAR corner. We're going to talk about the NBA, NHL, and the World Cup a little bit. Probably not really the World Cup, but the NBA and NHL, along with all the other things we do. But Rich, what's it time to do?
Mike, let's go ahead and roll the intro.
Broadcasting live from somewhere in Iowa. This is Balls and Sticks, the podcast, with your hosts, Mike and Rich.
And we're back. Okay, with that, Rich, we have a poll question. Poll questions are always up on Facebook.com/fans of Balls and Sticks or Rich and Maya's page. Jump on there to check it out. Rich, this week's poll question was dodgeball versus square dancing. Closer than I thought.
Yeah.
But there were 2 votes for square dancing and 6 votes for dodgeball.
All right. I went with dodgeball. It was tempting to go with square dancing because that was you always had that one hope of, man, I hope I hope I get a chance to dance with that one girl I really liked in the class or in the gym class, but it didn't always work out that way. It didn't always work out, but so it was close. I almost did square dancing, but I went with dodgeball though.
Yes. I voted dodgeball because you know what, Rich?
Mm-hmm.
If you could dodge a can of soda, you could dodge a dodgeball. So.
Yeah, that is still one of my favorite movies to watch. I remember we were watching a bootleg copy of it when I was deployed over to Iraq, and a bunch of other people from the maintenance team were watching it in one of our common rooms in our barracks. Commander walks by and just happens to see the scene where it's like, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. And it's like, is that what's going on out in the motor pool?
That's so good. Okay, Rich.
Yeah. Who voted for square dancing and who joined us in voting for dodgeball, Mike?
The 2 most important women in either of our lives voted for square dancing. AJ Hendricks and Danielle Hart voted for square dancing. Voting for dodgeball, me, Cody Cooper, Josh Hendricks, Jennifer Kaisley Kincaid, Rich Hendricks, and you, Rich Hendricks,
me,
not the other Rich Hendricks,
I know.
and Nathan Ross. Wow. So.
All right. So this week's poll, which is going to go live at 9 a.m., probably when we're wrapping this show up, will be number 12 Freeze Tag versus the number 28 seed Softball. So softball probably wouldn't have been ranked this low, but after we had made the poll, we realized that we had forgotten about softball. So that took the place of, I believe it was crab soccer, which neither of us had played, but it was ranked as a common gym activity on the lists that we were looking at to compile our rankings. So freeze tag versus softball.
Okay, Rich.
Mike, tell them where they can find the poll questions, and then tell us what's coming up next.
Well, you can find the poll questions on Fans of Balls and Sticks, or Facebook.com/fans of Balls and Sticks, the Balls and Sticks fans group, or Rich's page or my page, as we try to share it on there every week. With that, Rich, let's head into the NASCAR Corner, presented as always by Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated, Moline, Illinois. Check them out for all your sports memorabilia needs on 5th Avenue in Moline or on their eBay store. Once again, that is Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated. Rich, this last week we were in Texas for the Worth 400. Let us know how we did.
All right, Mike. So your race winner was Chase Elliott, getting the cowboy hat and pistols. Mike, your pick of Denny Hamlin came in second. My pick of Brad Keselowski came in 13th. So, Mike, you're starting to close that gap as my lead has been reduced to a 1-point advantage, as it's now 7-6. Mike, because I didn't get to see, I didn't get to see stage 3 of the race to see how Elliott won it. We had people from our church over for a little bit of a leaders meeting, so I didn't get to see the end of the race. Mike, what were your thoughts on the Texas race?
I had family stuff going on.
Had family stuff going on too.
Didn't get to watch it.
Yeah. All right. So, Mike, this week we are going road course racing as we will be at the Glen for the Go Bowling at the Glen. Um, Mike, it's a road course, so obviously you're going to be firing up those road course ringers. Guys like Shane Van Gisbergen, probably the two guys that we're going to pick, as well as I would imagine probably Christopher Bell, Chase Elliott.
Ty Gibbs actually surprisingly
Ty
good.
Gibbs.
Like Ty Gibbs is my sleeper for road courses. He's one of those guys.
And probably the Spire Motorsports has guys that do well at the road courses like Michael McDowell and Danny Suarez.
Yep. So with that, Rich, I'm gonna, as I have the honors, I'm gonna pick Connor Zilic because I already used Shane Van Gisbergen.
Mm-hmm.
So who are you picking, Rich?
I'm going to save my SVG use as we still got two more road courses to go with San Diego Street Race and Sonoma. And Sonoma, so I'm going to go with the Dinger, AJ Allmendinger for the Glen.
It's a good one. Again, both those guys are good road course guys. Connor Zilic is a little bit of a stretch as it is his rookie season, so we'll see. But he does know how to do road courses really well.
Yeah.
Rich?
From his time in the trucks.
Yep.
And the O'Reilly series.
Rich, go ahead and take us out.
All right, so that was the NASCAR Corner presented by Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated, Moline, Illinois, and on eBay. Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated for your sports and memorabilia and Pokemon cards and comic books.
Nice.
Check them out. All right, Mike. The MLB. We're going to keep making left-hand turns. And I don't remember whose home run call it used to be, like with touch them all. That's a happy fly ball.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been
a happy week.
It's been a happy week. The W flag keeps on flying every single day, Mike.
How about 4 walk-offs in a row against the Reds?
No, it was only 3. They had 3
Oh,
walk-off
that's right.
wins.
3 walk-offs.
3 walk-off
The
wins
fourth
in
was
a row. Game 4, the sweeping game in that series was a rather decisive victory, not a come from behind. But it was crazy to think that a come from behind win on Monday and then back-to-back extra inning walk-off wins on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah. So what's really, and again, I'm not trying to hype this team up too much. I think there's some holes. We still have injuries in a lot of our pitching staff. We need to work on some of that stuff. But some of the stuff that is just, to me, one of those things that you got to look at. They're finding ways to win. A walk-off walk?
Mm-hmm. By all means. I think I was watching a video while I was eating my breakfast today, and they were breaking down that sequence. Yeah, it would make sense to walk, say, a Suzuki to set up a lefty-lefty matchup, even if that means the bases are loaded in that critical situation. But the guy just couldn't put a pitch over the plate, and Michael Busch just walks it off. That was after he hit the game-tying home run in the 8th inning.
Yeah, and then there's the Reds making critical errors, like straight up critical errors, not tagging a runner coming from third.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, because I remember that video too of them just talking about like the questionable plays they did of making a questionable route on a fly ball and it sailing over their head, what should have been an easy drop pop fly. Boop, drops it, but that run didn't lead to anything.
Yeah,
the force out throw home for the double play, and he doesn't tag the runner thinking that it's a force play and just leaves his foot on the bag, and then
no longer a force play. The guy got the force out at third, making it no longer a force play at home, and doesn't tag the runner. Like,
Being good on Hap to keep playing alive and not just start walking off the dugout thinking that he had been thrown out at home too, and keep on going thinking that it was like he still like there was going to be a play at the plate, so that's why he slid to try and get in under a tag that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And De La Cruz, seeing that, I mean, I was listening to that sequence on the radio and hearing Ron Coomer talk about it. It's like, I don't know why he didn't just stay in front of the ball, but instead goes to like an Olay move to kind of catch it with his glove off to the side.
Yeah.
And it gets by him.
Yeah.
Game over.
I mean, so you said you had your poll question of the show.
No, just
your
question
trivia
for
question.
you.
I have a trivia question for you.
Okay.
How many teams currently have multiple 10-game winning streaks in the MLBs right now?
This season?
This season.
I know you gave me the answer, but I even without knowing that answer, I think I would just say one. It's got to be just one team.
It is just one. It is the Cubs.
Yeah.
Like, how is it like this team? They're a good team. We need our pitching to get healthy. It like, and we talked about it last week, and guys are starting to come back, so that's good to see. If we can get to that point where our closer's a lights out closer and there's no thinking about it, boom, good to go. But
yeah,
man.
So with a 10-game winning streaks in one season, it's the first time the Cubs have done that since 1935.
Yeah.
You want to know how that 1935 team did, Mike?
How'd they do?
154, finishing first in the National League, but losing the World Series in 6 games.
154?
154. So 100 wins, 54 losses.
Okay. I was like...
No, 100 wins,
Okay.
54 losses. So that's a 65% winning percentage.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, the old adage in baseball is every team's going to win 60 games. You're going to lose 60 games. It's what you do with those other 62 games that matter.
Yep.
And
so
if you
my
can
question,
win those other 62 games, or again that third of the season that that is up for grabs, as it were. Back then they didn't have 168 or 162.
I think they played that 35 team obviously played 154 games.
Yeah. So they didn't play the same amount of games. So yeah. Okay. Time for the poll question. Or the trivia question.
Just a question to you, Mike.
And the fans. If you think you know it, pause before Rich gives this answer. The timestamp is 8.
What do you think is? Go ahead.
1905. Get your answers in before Mike. 1905.
So right now the Cubs are on a 14-game winning streak at home.
Okay.
Which is the third longest winning streak?
Yeah.
What do you think what's that number, Mike, for the longest home winning streak?
I'm going to add about 10 games to that.
Okay.
So I'm going to say I'll do a nice round number, 25.
Okay.
25.
By Price is Right rules, you went over, Mike.
Oh.
As the longest winning streak at Wrigley Field, because there is a difference technically, is an 18-game stretch that happened in September of 35.
Okay.
But the longest record in franchise history is a 21-game home winning streak, which happened in 1880 at Lakefront Park.
Wow. Okay. Did not know that. I did not know that. I did not know that.
All right, Mike. So we both said they'd only get 4 wins. They got 6.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I will, as I've said when I've sometimes given my number, I'd rather give a number that I think is obtainable, and be pleasantly surprised when they outperform that, rather than shooting for the moon and saying 6 games, they're winning them all. 6 games, they're winning them all. Because that's sometimes hard. It's hard to sweep a team.
Yeah.
If those red games could have gone another way, could have easily have gone another way.
Yeah, we just talked about that. There were 3 of the 4 games were walk-offs, and if certain plays don't go the way that they go, very easily they could have lost 2 of those games easily. So, okay, with that, Cubs have 2 more today and tomorrow in Arlington, 3 in Atlanta, and 1 game on the south side. Still get home cooking, but the clubhouse looks a little different.
Yeah. You're probably in the smaller clubhouse.
Yeah. So with that, Rich, I'm gonna go 5. I think they can sweep the Texans.
Yeah. They're gonna sweep the Rangers.
The Rangers, and they're gonna at least take 2 from Atlanta.
Okay.
And then they'll beat the Sox.
All right. I'm gonna stick with my solid number of 4. Atlanta is just as hot right now as the Cubs are, so it's gonna be 2 first place teams facing off against each other.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with 4. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna say they don't get the sweep in Atlanta, so that's 1 game. I'll give them 2 games in Atlanta, and of course the game against the Sox.
So 1,
that's how they'll
2,
get their 4
1.
win. Yeah, 1,
Okay.
2, 1.
Okay.
1, 2, 1. So before we get on to our brief talk about the NBA and the NHL,
We got a couple
the Cubs
baseball stories that I would like to talk about, but
okay. So the Cubs are currently 27-12, 3.5 games up on the St. Louis Cardinals of all teams. Did you think you'd be saying the Cardinals this high in the standings?
no.
And with their record of 27-12, if the playoffs started today, they would have the number 1 overall seed in the bracket.
That is kind of awesome. Yeah. So there are 2 plays I really want to talk about
Okay.
in baseball that I've seen this week. I don't know when they exactly happened. One was May 3rd, it looks like, and it comes from Banana Ball. If you are unfamiliar with the Banana Ball rules, on ball 4, instead of a walk, they have a sprint. A sprint means every defensive player has to touch the ball before they can get the guy out.
Yep. So the runner can stop at first and take his base that way and not pursue second or third, or in this case, Mike, a home run.
Yeah. So Jordan Husson decided, I'm doing it, and in his sprint went for all 4 bases, or all 3 bases and home plate, and pulled it off, getting what I believe is the first home run sprint in Banana Ball history.
Huh. Yeah, I think when either between watching Banana Ball games on TV or going to the game, most ball 4 sprints result in a double.
Yeah,
The runner stopping at second.
that is pretty normal from what I've watched. Triples are, I don't want to say they're regular, but they're not unheard of. But a home run is just crazy. But Jordan Husson's has straight speed. He also got the benefit that the catcher was trying to frame the
The pitch.
And held for a little extra second. Now, he also had the unbenefit, however you want to call it, of as he's running around, as he's looping third, the third place official gets in his way.
The third base umpire got in the way?
Yeah, he had to kind of push him so he doesn't, because the third place umpire was expecting it to be a play at third, and
so he was trying to get a good vantage point. To
Yeah,
third
and
not at home, not thinking he was going to run around and keep going.
So he was kind of down the third baseline at an angle, which for a third place play, always like that's where he's in perfect position. But because of because of Jordan trying to hustle and round third, he ends up being in the way, and it's very momentary. It barely does anything to keep him from getting there, but it was a great run. And it's also great because this actually happened against the Savannah Bananas themselves. So the Texas Tailgaters against the Bananas, which the games where the Bananas are playing tend to be the most watched games.
I think they do. They normally do. So that game was that at the Texas A&M Stadium?
I don't think so. I don't know.
No, that was last week, I think, when they were at Texas A&M, because we talked about how they did a pop-up game at a high school.
Yeah.
While they were in Texas.
Yeah.
And then going from the largest crowd that they've ever had for a banana ball game to the smallest crowd.
Yeah.
Because they chose to do they did a pop-up game at a high school field.
This is definitely at an MLB stadium. That's all I can.
Gotcha. So as I was like watching the banana ball game last night and warming up dinner for us, the thought crossed my mind of if you wanted to revigorate the Major League All-Star game, could you play that game with banana ball rules?
Oh,
make it more exciting. Fans catching the pop-ups. Home walk sprints, not the in between inning entertainment that they commonly have.
You could do the in between. You could do the in between stuff. I mean, they do it in minor leagues all the time. Now it's not going to be aired, obviously.
No, it wouldn't be aired. Not even the banana ball games that are on TV. They don't air all of the in between inning stuff because you have commercial breaks. You have commercial breaks. But like the ball four sprints, it's an out if the fan catches the ball in the stands. The inning is over once you have the innings rule to where you're playing the innings and getting points, not just runs all around. You could get the All-Star game over in 2 hours and it'd still be a good exhibition game to where you hybrid them to where once you're emptying your bench to make sure that every batter gets an at bat, you can't bring a guy out. You can't obviously bring a guy back into a game.
Yes, you can.
In banana ball, you can.
You can. You got him.
They can't. The entire lineup has to bat again before you could insert the same guy as a pinch runner.
No. In banana ball, you got the golden bat.
Okay, yeah, you have a golden bat at any point. You can bring.
You got the golden bat at any point. I might be wrong. It was at the Texas A&M game.
Okay, the game at Texas A&M. Okay.
It was the game at Texas A&M. So, yeah, that's.
It's just a thought. Could there be?
I think that would be awesome. I don't know why you wouldn't do that. Like, you get.
We talk about every year. Are you going to watch the All-Star game? Nope. It's like it's.
If they did, Either that or do like a Sandlot game. Do
Okay,
a
what do you mean?
Sandlot game where your number one vote getter at the beginning of the game, your number one vote getter for each league on each league gets to pick they start doing the picks. Like in a
So you're eliminating the whole National versus American League team.
yeah,
It's turning into
kind of like
the
they
highest-
did with the Team LeBron versus Team Giannis a few years ago.
yeah. They
But-
did start doing that.
But
Yeah.
do it where it's actually like during the live broadcast.
Okay, instead of pre-recorded to where they know
Yeah.
you know what you're gonna do.
Yep.
Okay.
Just get all 18 guys out there. Get 20 guys out there. Each picks 9. And how about this? For the bench, the bench, both teams have bench. The bench is just available. And if you're going to bring a guy in, you can bring anybody in from the bench.
Oh, the bench is the entire
Every
non-starters.
Yeah, anybody not starting is sitting on the bench, and the whole team. You get to, in the middle of play. You say like your
beginning
manager
of an
comes
inning-
out and says, "Hey, we're gonna use so and so, but you're limited to an even amount, so you can't just have 10 guys, or you can't just do 10 swaps in the first inning if you get that far, in order to keep guys off the other team. You actively have to, and each player on the bench has to take an at bat.
Yeah, and that's commonly what happens because if you make the All-Star team, they want to get you an at bat, especially if it's to make sure everybody that was selected for the game pitches an inning or gets an at bat,
Including pitchers.
Well, the pitcher's got a bat too.
Including pitchers.
So you adopt a 10 instead of a 9-player roster. You use banana ball to where you have an extra hitter, and that extra hitter has to be the pitcher.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Like, just I love your idea. I think having the All-Star game as banana ball rules, including if a fan catches the ball,
It's an out.
it's an out. So,
And you could easily have you can either still adhere to the 2-inning rule, the 2-hour rule, to where if the game is tied in points once they reach the 2-hour mark, you go into the extra innings rules of having like their runner on second and runner on second, both teams get an at bat. You use the banana ball extra inning rules instead of having a home run, or if they wanted to have it as a
home run derby.
a hybrid of it, a home run derby, which is what they do right now if the game is tied
Yeah,
after 9.
I'm all for a home run derby. Let's do
That's
it.
what they do right now.
Let's do it.
So, and Mike, what was your other MLB story before I interrupted you talking about how the All-Star game should use banana ball?
I think we should let's get that posted and get that shared out on all the ways we can. Taylor Trammell of the team, I'll give him credit. I'm gonna give him credit. Just I hate this team, but Taylor Trammell of the Astros. Yeah, I said it. But this is because this guy, he did a good dude move. He's up to bat, swings the bat, and whacks the decent follow through, hits the batter hard enough that the batter the catcher hard enough that the catcher goes down.
Mm-hmm.
The ball flies like it might be a home run, ends up staying in the park, barely gets out or barely hits the corner, and in that, by the way, they're in Houston. takes a really weird bounce. Now, he stays in the batter's box to check on the catcher, thinking either it's going to be a home run and I don't need to really worry about it, but also it could be a foul or it's going to be an out. None of that happens. It lands and he realizes I got to start running, and he legs out a triple. But that's not what I'm bringing it up for. Like, that's crazy. Don't get me wrong. That in and of itself is crazy. But when he gets to third base, the look on his face is a true look of concern. This is why I bring up the I'm willing to say the team name, why I'm willing to give this guy so much props. He genuinely cared that he hit the dude and that he felt bad about it. Like,
and the umpire is checking him out too to see, oh man, you okay?
Yeah, I mean, genuinely did things in a way that I would hope my kid would do. By the way, if he doesn't, the dude legged out a triple. If he would have been running right away, dude gets a home run, gets an in the park home run no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, does the left fielder play it a little bit differently?
The right fielder.
The right fielder play the ball a little bit differently if they saw the guy running?
Maybe.
But the way the play stood, we'll make sure to share that onto our socials page so you can see it. But the way the play stood, that would have been an easy inside the park home run, with the way the bad bounce that it took off the wall, and the left and the right fielder just jogging, like lollygagging toward the ball, jogging back to the ball to get it back into the infield. But I think if he had legged it out and not worried about the catcher, and he was sprinting, who would have covered home plate?
Yeah.
Would the pitcher have seen that? Oh, snap! My catcher's down. Is he the one covering home plate? Does the first baseman or the does the first baseman come down and cover the plate?
Well, and even crazier, like, let's say all of that goes down. Let's say that's how it goes down. If you're the batter, if you're a batter and you don't care, let's say you're one of those guys, and you did take off for a dead sprint and you're coming home, and now the pitcher's there and he's the one defending home plate. The home plate rules still apply.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm sorry, if it's me, if there's somebody blocking home plate and I'm coming in for it, we're having a collision. One of us is going. What?
You can't collide into. You can't bull rush and collide at the plate anymore. You'd have to slide.
Okay.
You can't do that
but
anymore.
You can
but
still,
yeah, you're still gonna slide.
You're still gonna slide, and you're gonna slide hard. You don't. Mm-hmm. You're not bull rushing, but you can still slide pretty hard. Maybe you slide feet first, and I'm not saying you're cleating the guy, but it's up to him. And if you slide head first, you're going to take his legs out anyway. Like,
the catcher cannot block home plate anymore. There has to be a path to the base for the said runner. Well, so obviously a pitcher normally isn't used to covering home plate. So that could have presented a challenge. That could have, you would have had more room to try and get in on home plate.
Yeah.
With a pitcher covering as opposed to a catcher. But yeah, crazy play. Thanks for sharing that. Thanks for sharing that and bringing that up to my attention, and hopefully other people will see it on the Fans of Balls and Sticks page.
Yeah, either way, crazy at bat. And two crazy at bats, by the way. I'm not just one, two. So yeah. Okay, with that, let's head into the NBA, NHL playoffs spots. Rich, your Spurs are in round 2, up 2-1 on the Timberwolves. I actually think that game. I don't think that they're in a great spot. The Timberwolves are playing really well this playoffs. Yes, they dropped 2, but I think the Timberwolves are the team to watch out for in upsets for this playoffs. So, again, I'm not guaranteeing that, but Sunday night up in Minneapolis, you can catch. St. Paul.
They play. It's the hockey team that plays in St.
Oh,
Paul.
okay.
The Wolves play in Minneapolis.
Up in Minneapolis. Check it out for Game 4. Rich, how are my Thunder doing?
Your Thunder are up 2-0 on the Luka-less LA Lakers that are still being led by LeBron James. Game 3 is going to be today out in LA, Saturday, if you're watching the episode or here and listening to us at a later date. The Stanley Cup playoffs, Mike, my pick of the Hurricanes are up 3-0 on the Philadelphia Flyers. Game 4 is Saturday in Philly. Mike, how are the Avalanche doing?
I'm sorry. No, before we get there, I am not thrilled. You made a statement, and that statement reflects a statement made by the quote-unquote greatest player in the game today.
Okay.
The Luka list.
Could this game be different if Luka Doncic
probably
was in the series, was healthy?
Probably. But again, and I'm not. Yes, I'm gonna make the comparison.
Mm-hmm.
We always people always talk about how the LeBron blah 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 all that stuff, LeBron versus Michael concept. LeBron versus Michael. Part of the reason why people of my generation and my world argue about Michael, that would not have been Michael Jordan's playing while food poisoning, while brown bottle flu, whatever you want to call it.
Up late because he went gambling the entire night before.
Whatever truly happened that night, LeBron James, Michael Jordan plays and has a game that arguably is one of the greatest games we've ever seen in NBA history. Right?
Mm-hmm.
LeBron James, without his best scorer, don't get me wrong, Luka is the best scorer in the league. I'm not denying that fact. But the fact that Luka is the fact that Luka is playing at that level is the fact that he's out. LeBron uses that as the excuse to lose.
No, I don't think he's losing. I was just making the point that
I know you aren't. I know you're not.
I don't think I have not. I don't read NBA stories.
But
LeBron
LeBron James,
LeBron is making the case that this would be a different series if I am.
He did.
Teammate. He did.
He did in a post-game interview. In a post-game interview, he 100% said,
"This would be a different series if we had Luka."
Essentially, yeah.
I had not seen that.
Making excuses is not a reason to that to me says you are not the GOAT. That in and of itself is an argument that you the GOAT conversation is over. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I can see where you're coming from on that. So
Maybe I'm wrong. But
yeah, because Michael never made excuses for that entire year where Scottie Pippen chose to rehab a knee injury in season rather than have that type of surgery during the off season and rehab, because Scottie Pippen didn't want to ruin his summer with injury recovery and rehab. So he chose to do that in season, and he essentially sat out half a season during that three-peat run during their second three-peat year. And the Bulls still rolled to the best record in the league en route to a championship. And we're a better team having Scotty in the lineup as opposed to Kukoc being the starting small forward instead.
So I sit here and I watch it and I'm like, this is. Anyway, you brought up that point, and I'm like, it just bothers me.
Then you remembered that he said that. He himself said that this could be a different series if Luka was out here.
Well, he said, he did say essentially, yeah, but we're without Luka, so you know, and it's like, LeBron, like, I think you are a game-changing talent. I don't disagree that you are one. Like, honestly, when he retires, so my argument is always, you can't put someone's head on Mount Rushmore until they retire, right? Like, that to me seems fair. When LeBron retires, we're scraping a face off Mount Rushmore, and that his face goes there immediately. That's not even a question for me. But when you talk GOAT, part of being a GOAT is that instinct that the buck stops here. And when you're making excuses like that, sorry, you're done. Okay. I didn't mean to go there. Rich, let's get back. Okay. You were talking about the Hurricanes over the Flyers. They're up 3-0 Saturday night tonight at the Phillies. The Avalanche are up 2-0 over the Wild and they play tonight in St. Paul. With that, Rich, the World Cup starts in
World Cup starts June 11th, which is a Thursday when the first match kicks off. So either the show of Memorial Day weekend.
Probably Memorial Day weekend, because
Memorial Day weekend.
I'm busy the other 2 weekends, but
probably we're just going to give you. Obviously, I think it's a fair assessment to say we're going to be rooting for Team USA with the games being played in North America.
Yep.
But we'll pick a second team to follow through the tournament, similar to what we did with the Olympics, of where we're just going to track and see how far this particular nation does in the World Cup.
Uzbekistan.
So we'll give you that team when we record, more than likely together on Memorial Day weekend, since you're going to be coming into town to go to a ball game with me on the Friday of Memorial Day weekend. Yeah.
With that, Rich, I promised an esports update. We are in the playoffs. We played Dyke, New Hartford on Tuesday for Mario Kart. That's going to be a really good game. If we win, we go to state. If we lose, we don't. And that's all there is to it. And then we also have Marvel Rivals Monday. We're without one of our starters, so that's going to be a little rough. But we'll make it work. Whatever happens, happens. So, yeah, with that, Rich, do you want to go first or do you want to go second?
I'll go first.
Okay, go ahead.
You've had a lot more time. You've had a lot more practice giving these types of messages since since you've been a family longer. But just a happy Mother's Day. So it's awesome to see the work that you do with little Vinny and the great job that you're doing with him and the mother that you become. Can't wait to see you keep growing as a mom, as we continue to grow as a family and get used to being a family for that matter. Since we're on 2 months, very
Yeah.
close to only
Wow.
just a little over 2 months as a family of three. So
That's awesome.
yeah, and then also a happy Mother's Day to the other mothers in our lives, Karen and my mom Pam. So yeah, so I don't know. Do they transition now to being getting shout outs on Grandparents' Day now? So I don't know,
No,
but no, okay, yeah, they're still the
no.
moms in our
They're still
lives.
your
So
mom. So,
yeah,
um, yeah, I'm gonna shout out your mom and your mother-in-law. I'm gonna shout
yeah,
out. We'll start out with my wife. Speaking on Sunday at church, which is exciting, but also just how amazing my wife is as a mother. Um, Days are hard, kids are hard. We're in that era of life where kids are, uh, I mean, a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, and it's crazy and as hard as it is. And we've been practicing. She's been practicing because she's speaking at church on Sunday. We've been practicing what her talk and stuff is going to look like, and every time we tear up, and it's amazing to listen to what God has done for us and through her, especially as a mom. And you are an amazing woman, Danielle. Also, my mother, Sue Hart, thanks for always being in my corner and always fighting for me. And Teresa, thank you for being an amazing mother to my mom and taking me as your son wholeheartedly and lovingly, and how awesome that's been. With that, Rich, let's go ahead and roll the outro.
Broadcasting live from somewhere in Iowa. This is Balls and Sticks, the podcast, with your hosts, Mike and Rich.